Aliyah Dana Horton was an American singer and actress. She has been credited with helping to redefine contemporary R&B, pop, and hip-hop, earning her the nicknames the Princess of R&B and Queen of Urban Pop. Aliyah worked with record producers Timbaland and Missy Elliott for her second album, One in a Million, which sold 3 million copies in the United States and more than 8 million copies worldwide. Patsy Klein was an American singer. She is considered one of the most influential vocalists of the 20th century and was one of the first country music artists to cross over into pop music. Klein had several major hits during her 8-year recording career, including 2 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot Country and Western Sides chart. Klein's first professional performances began at local radio station Wink when she was 15. James Joseph Croce was an American folk and rock singer-songwriter. Between 1966 and 1973, he released 5 studio albums and numerous singles. During this period, Croce took a series of odd jobs to pay bills while he continued to write, record, and perform concerts. After Croce formed a partnership with songwriter and guitarist Maury Muehleisen in the early 1970s, his fortunes turned. Dolores Jenni Rivera was an American singer known for her work within the regional Mexican music genre, specifically in the styles of banda, mariachi, and norteño. In life and death, several media outlets including CNN, Billboard, Fox News, and the New York Times have labeled her the most important female figure and top-selling female artist in regional Mexican music. Billboard magazine named her the top Latin artist of 2013 and the best-selling Latin artist of 2013. Eric Hilliard Nelson was an American musician and actor. From age 8, he starred alongside his family in the radio and television series The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. In 1957, he began a long and successful career as a popular recording artist. His fame as both a recording artist and television star also led to a motion picture role, co-starring alongside John Wayne, Dean Martin, Walter Brennan, and Angie Dickinson in Howard Hawks' Western feature film, Rio Bravo. Charles Hardin Holly, known as Buddy Holly, was an American singer and songwriter who was a central and pioneering figure of mid-1950s rock and roll. He was born to a musical family in Lubbock, Texas during the Great Depression and learned to play guitar and sing alongside his siblings. Holly's style was influenced by gospel music, country music, and rhythm and blues acts, which he performed in Lubbock with his friends from high school. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., often referred to as John or JFK Jr., was an American attorney, journalist, and magazine publisher. He was a son of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, and First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy, and a younger brother of U.S. Ambassador Caroline Kennedy. 3 days after his father was assassinated, he rendered a final salute during the funeral procession on his 3rd birthday. Roberto Enrique Clemente Walker was a Puerto Rican professional baseball player who played 18 seasons in Major League Baseball, MLB, for the Pittsburgh Pirates, primarily as a right fielder. After his early and sudden death, the National Baseball Hall of Fame changed its rules so that a player who has been dead for at least 6 months will be eligible for entry. In 1973, Clemente was posthumously inducted, becoming the first Caribbean and the first Latin American player to be honored in the Hall of Fame. David Lawrence Angel was an American screenwriter and television producer known for his work in sitcoms. He won multiple Emmy Awards as the creator and executive producer of the sitcoms Wings and Frasier with Peter Casey and David Lee. Angel and his wife Lynn were killed heading home from their vacation on Cape Cod aboard American Airlines Flight 11, the first plane to hit the World Trade Center during the September 11th attacks. Henry John Deutschendorf Jr., known professionally as John Denver, was an American singer and songwriter. He was one of the most popular acoustic artists of the 1970s and one of the best-selling artists in that decade. AllMusic has called Denver among the most beloved entertainers of his era. Denver recorded and released approximately 300 songs, about 200 of which he wrote himself. He had 33 albums and singles that were certified gold and platinum in the US by the RIAA. Otis Ray Redding Jr. was an American singer and songwriter. He is regarded as one of the greatest singer-songwriters in the history of American popular music and a seminal artist in soul music and rhythm and blues. Nicknamed the King of Soul, Redding's style of singing gained inspiration from the gospel music that preceded the genre. His singing style influenced many other soul artists of the 1960s. Stevie Ray Vaughan was an American musician, best known as the guitarist and frontman of the blues rock trio Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. Although his mainstream career spanned only 7 years, he is regarded as one of the most influential musicians in the history of blues music and one of the greatest guitarists of all time. He was the younger brother of guitarist Jimmy Vaughan. Randall William Rhoads was an American guitarist. He was the co-founder and original guitarist of the heavy metal band Quiet Riot, and the guitarist and co-songwriter for Ozzy Osbourne's first 2 solo albums, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. Rhoads was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2021. Originally educated in classical guitar, Rhoads combined these early influences with heavy metal, helping form a subgenre later known as neoclassical metal. Charles John Mahoney was an English-American actor. He played retired police officer Martin Crane on the NBC sitcom Frasier from 1993 to 2004, receiving nominations for 2 Golden Globe Awards and 2 Primetime Emmy Awards. After moving from England to the United States, Mahoney began his career in Chicago as a member of the Steppenwolf Theatre Company. He earned the Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a play for his performance in the 1986 Broadway revival. James Travis Reeves was an American country and popular music singer and songwriter. With records charting from the 1950s to the 1980s, he became well known as a practitioner of the Nashville sound. Known as Gentleman Jim, his songs continued to chart for years after his death in a plane crash. He is a member of both the Country Music and Texas Country Music Halls of Fame's SD postseason scoring. Giles Perry J.P. Richardson Jr., better known by his stage name The Big Bopper, was an American musician and disc jockey. His best-known compositions include Chantilly Lace, Running Bear, and White Lightning, the latter of which became George Jones's first #1 hit in 1959. Richardson was killed in an airplane crash in Clear Lake, Iowa in 1959, along with fellow musicians Buddy Holly and Ritchie Valens, and the pilot, Roger Peterson. Harry Leroy Roy Halladay III was an American professional baseball pitcher who played in Major League Baseball, MLB, for the Toronto Blue Jays and Philadelphia Phillies between 1998 and 2013. His nickname, Doc, was coined by Toronto Blue Jays announcer Tom Cheek and was a reference to Wild West gunslinger Doc Holliday. An 8-time All-Star, Halladay was one of the most dominant pitchers of his era. Lynyrd Skynyrd is an American rock band formed in Jacksonville, Florida. The group originally formed as My Backyard in 1964 and comprised Ronnie Van Zant, lead vocalist, Gary Rossington, guitar, Alan Collins, guitar, Larry Junstrom, bass guitar, and Bob Burns, drums. The band spent 5 years touring small venues under various names and with several lineup changes before deciding on Lynyrd Skynyrd in 1969. The band released its first album in 1973. By then, they had settled on a lineup that included bassist Leon Wilkeson, keyboardist Billy Powell, and guitarist Ed King. Burns left and was replaced by Artemis Pyle in 1974. King left in 1975 and was replaced by Steve Gaines in 1976.